Sometimes I can't trust the paramedics or them crooked ass cops. The closest nigga to you would do you and try to screw you. Backstab you in the back and act like you never knew.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. And first and foremost, I would like to give all honors and praises and all the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh, Aisham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahab Akak honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, I mean a very few, brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in hopes of being saved within these last days, because we're living in the last days of the last days, right? And I think it's the right time to basically bring out this testimony, and we're going to make it as short as possible. You're probably wondering why never you seen me? Why haven't you seen no content being posted up? The reason why, because this was about 2 weeks ago. We're going to get into it. It's going to be a testimony on you teach this truth. There's going to be a level of persecution. You will be slandered. You're going to have people trying to slander you, demonize you. Why? Because they done the same thing to Yahweh Shai. They done the same thing to the apostles and the prophets of old. So this is the reason why you haven't seen no content on my old channel, because basically I was arrested on a false charges. Well, I wasn't even charged. Now I wasn't charged with nothing. So we say false allegation. So I haven't been charged with anything. So we're going to bring it out. We're going to bring out the scriptures, and we're going to start off first, right? And it's going to be unbelievable when I tell you about certain things that really went down. The first thing we're going to start off on is John 18. It says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. Now, we're not here to be victims, but it does say, Yahweh says, if the world hates you, just know it hated me before it hated you. Yahweh was highly despised by the world because he was not of the world. If you were of the world would love his own. You see that? So therefore, if you're not of this world, if you're not doing things the way other people do it, right, in the form of conformity and copying each other and the hive mindset, they're not really going to get along with you. The world would love his own. So if you were being a wicked individual like the world is, they would love you, they would accept you. This is why, prior to you coming into this truth, what happened when you was in the world? You had a bit more companion with the world. Why? Because you were in wickedness. If you were of the world will love his own, because you're not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. So there's certain men and women that are chosen, handpicked, selected. So you're going to be considered different, weird, a little bit strange. Okay, they're going to try to gaslight you on a daily basis because you're different. You have the spirit of Yahweh Shai in you. Therefore, the world hateth you. It says it right here. Yahweh Shai is saying it. Why? Because you've been chosen out of the world. Therefore, you can't do what the world does. Right? You can't do what they do. So now, therefore, there's going to be eyes on you. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours also. They persecuted the Messiah. He was given up, right? Same thing. So it says, if they've kept my sayings, they're going to keep your sayings. So just know, anytime you're doing this, there's people with dossiers, cameras, whatever it may be, audio, listening to what you're saying and trying to bring against what allegations so they can deliver you to who? The enemy. Verse 21. For all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. They don't know Yahweh Shai. So what do you expect? The people of the world, they don't know Yahweh Shai. They don't know him. Okay? So you can expect that. So this is why, well, I highly believe why I was arrested. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the testimony. This was a couple of weeks ago. What was it? The 8th. I think it was the 8th of November, the 8th or 9th. Basically had my gear with me. Everything. Fishing gear, camping gear, the whole lot. I basically rid to a certain location to camp out because I like camping from time to time because it gets you away from the rat race. It's good to mental clarity. And I think we should be growing in this truth. I'm not going to say every brother should do that. Long story short, went to a particular location, not many people there, wasn't even on the street. All right. It was like a wooded area. Okay, Baba Kashar in southeast London. Posted a video, it was about 40 minutes long, was teaching people were walking past with their dogs. And you already, brothers, you already know about that watch my videos. I've explained about the program and how you do have particular people that are already positioned where you go. So no, that's no paranoia at all. There's particular people you've already, bro, the evidence is already there. There's people that are positioned, there's people that wait for you in certain locations because they've got spirits upon them, right? So that was happening, but I never mentioned that on the video, right? At all. I was mentioning salvation and I was mentioning World War III and Putin and how it's gonna pop off World War III, which is biblical based. When I saw a helicopter, police helicopter, which I'm used to seeing, right? And I'm sure they're used to seeing me because they know who I am, even though they may act like they don't know who I am, because these people do that. So long story short, a few people came past. One woman, one man. One was wearing blue. The man was wearing blue. The woman was wearing red, which they wear their color codes, which is associated with their fraternities, right? And they were saying, you know, there's some police officers around there and so forth. Okay, at the gate. I asked them, do you know what it's for? I said, no, they're looking for someone. As soon as that happened, I kind of thought, yeah, something's going wrong here. So the lesson's finished now. I'm reviewing my whole video, about 40 minutes of it. A woman passes by. I'm having a conversation with her, and all of a sudden, what did you have? Police come out of nowhere, look directly at me, so it's like they knew who they were looking for, and they said, "Get on the ground, get on the ground." Had the tasers, everything, guns out. Get on the ground. Got on the ground. They put the handcuffs up on me. They didn't even explain. They just said, "Get on the ground," which really you're supposed to explain straight away. Pulled me to the side, and they said basically, we're just gonna have to put these cuffs on you because apparently we were called to basically we got a call that in your bag, your fishing bag, apparently you may have had some explosive. We're gonna handcuff you on so-called terrorist charges, and so forth. And I just thought, oh gosh. So they put me to the side. A few other officers came in. Now you had the other, the serious ones. They came and my bag was over there. They searched the bag, had my phone. I said, "Do you want to look at my phone?" Everything's on the phone. Take a look at the phone, right? So they were all looking at the phone, right? The detectives, and they started laughing. They were laughing, and they said, "Listen, whatever this person said, it's not on there. We can't see it." So after that, two officers basically were just asking me certain questions and all that. And one thing I will say, brothers, whatever you do, don't the whole gang stalking, targeting thing. I did mention. I shouldn't have said that. I did say, have you ever heard about targeted in the what's it, gang stalking and targeted individual? I shouldn't have done that because guess what? They used it as a crutch. Because 5 minutes after, they said we're gonna have to take you to the van because you're talking about. Well, they didn't tell me straight away. They took me to the van. Then the guy basically said, "You were talking about a targeted individuals. We believe that you could be a slightly paranoid. You could be having an episode of schizophrenia and so forth." And I said, bro, I was just mentioning there is targeted individuals out there. right? And he knew about the program. This is why I always say this: don't ever go to the police about any type of stalking, targeting, because they're a part of the program. They run it on a base level. So the guy basically what he was saying is, yeah, you were talking about tin foil and rays. No, I wasn't. That was nowhere in my video, so I don't even know where we got that from. Don't even know where we got that from. So yeah, they basically pulled me along to the van, which prior the officers said there's nothing on here, nothing at all. But the whole thing was they were saying they have to look at all of it. So there was someone within that police squad that obviously didn't like me. This is why I don't trust police. Never have, never will. So basically, they pulled me to the van, right? Put me in a van, and as I was walking to the van, there was a man, right? You could tell this man had spirits upon him, like a construction worker, and he said, "Is that him? Is that him? Is that him?" And this man had demons on his face because the allegation was very, very severe, very severe. Okay, very. Okay. So I was chucked in the van, and they said we're gonna have to put you under a section and go to the hospital and so forth because of the allegation, just to check you have no drugs in your system. I knew it was because of that, which I don't take drugs, by the way. So that took about probably 30, 40 minutes. So just remember, everything they do is staged. You got to remember that, brothers, right? Once you wake up to this truth, a lot of things are staged. So as they're driving there now, and this is what hospital was it? I think it was in Woolwich. Was it Queen's Hospital? I think it's called Queen's Hospital, right? So prior to them doing that, guess what happens? There's a so-called car crash, and guess what? It so happens to be a man in a red top and a red car, and a woman behind it, um, looking distraught. So they pull over and say, "Oh, look, there's a crash there. There's a crash. We're gonna need to go all the way round on the A21, turn all the way round, and let the woman jump in the car." They let her off. So they let this woman off. This woman was smiling, right? And they let her off, went all the way around. And I said, "Officer, you could have let someone else, your other detectives, deal with that." He said, "Yeah, we know and all that." So all that was staged. They were prolonging everything. So after that was done, it's about 40 to an hour. Now I'm in the hospital, right? Um, go to the reception, and you got the staff talking about have you ever watched a particular movie with a psycho in it? So they were talking shit. We're talking about hospital staff. And as soon as I got into the hospital, the tension was so thick, you could drop a pin and there'd be so much tension. So guess what? People were already in there. Guess what I saw? Cult members, all types of people already in that hospital. Bro, this world is wicked, wicked, bro. I'm telling you the story, bro, what really happened. Right? I ain't ratting. This ain't no snitch thing. So you really get the down of what really happened, how wicked people are. So by this time, they're writing things down. Why is he in here and so forth? And the officers, they're always going to have two officers by you. So they're explaining it, and they say just to get a check in, a check out. So when I look at the clock, it's a big TV they have, and they check you in. And with that check in, it says 2 hours on it. And as soon as I got in, it said about 4 hours, it went up. So everything was being staged. Yet from when you're out on the street, I've told you from the hospitals are highly involved in this type of stuff as well. Remember, they're all connected. Right? I've told you about this. So this shouldn't be a surprise to you. So by this time, you know what they say, well, we're gonna book you in, take a seat. So I'm waiting about probably an hour, hour and a half, probably even longer. I go in, Baba Kashar, to the office. They ask me, why am I in here? You get a blood, is it a blood test? No, it wasn't a blood test, it was a blood pressure. So they're checking my blood pressure. It was about 76. It was quite high, obviously. I just went through a distraught time. So my blood pressure was quite high. Well, that's no surprise, is it? Um, and that's all they done. They basically just writ that down. Had to go back out, sit back down, and wait another probably 4 or 5 hours, right? And that was being done for a reason. Okay. And while I was waiting for that 4 or 5 hours, can't make this up. And brothers already know, sisters, I ain't got nothing to lie about. Guess what? Two officers on the side of me, talking with them. These ones were quite generous, quite all right. Remember, they're just taking orders from the Sarge. And from there, you see people coming in, coming out. There was a lot of directed conversation. It's like these people already knew who I was when I already got in there. So they can do this. It's not mad at all. It's only mad to you if you're an idiot, if you're a fool, and you don't have understanding. So there was people in there and they were saying, yeah, oh, he should be using his gifts for good anyway. This is silly fat cow talking rubbish he was with our husband. The people were in there basically just trying to stir up stuff. And a lot of stuff were gone. You had cult members as well, because I told you cult members have connections to all type of organization. So there was cult members in there that had relatives that were hospital workers and they were trying to get in their ears. Um, you had witches in there as well, witches and so forth. Um, and a few other residents that just pretended they needed a checkup just to see what I was doing. And some of them were saying, "Yeah, just kill him, just kill him." They were doing that dumb shit, right? You know, the subliminals where they chuck rubbish in the bin and I would get rid of it and all that, bro. It doesn't matter what you say. If the Lord's for us, who can be against us? So that wasn't really bothering me too much, but they were doing a lot of things, subliminal things, all right, which they do to try to get in your head. Um, and the treatment was poor. There was a woman that was on a wheelchair. She fell off that wheelchair and she was screaming, and the hospital workers weren't doing anything, just walking past her, basically. So that was appalling. That was very appalling. So 5 hours up now, had to, wait there, the handcuffs, these people talking smack, trying to get in the hospital. And they do a lot of body coding where they look at each other, give each other the nod and all that. They do a lot of that stuff. All that's demons, right? Remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and forces, spiritual forces. So even the hospitals, yeah, there's spiritual forces that run hospitals because there's big money in hospitals and psychiatry wards and death. What hospitals are linked with death, right? And funerals. There's big money. That's a multi-billion industry. So you can't take that lightly. So now 5 hours in, probably I don't know, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. What is it next? The head scan. So now getting a head scan, brain scan. So I get that done. I was kind of a little bit reluctant to get a blood test. Blood test got done. I was reluctant because these people are corrupt. I don't trust anyone with my blood to be nothing. So they said, yeah, we just take the blood test. We empty the blood in front of you and all that. So I just got that done. You know why? Because you don't want to give these people excuses, right? To say, well, he's being a bit rebellious. So I just made sure I done all of it just to get the process speeded up. All that was done. Had to go back out. Then there was another check. Last check was, when they put stickers on different parts of your body to check your organs. So they done that. And he was just checking my organs that everything was all right. So I was very happy that that got done because I needed a test anyway. Because remember, I've told you about how there is people that you know, use particular weapons, and I have no doubt about these type of things because I know about this technology and what people do. So yeah, testing my organs and all that, and I haven't got the test back yet, but my blood pressure was good, really good. I'm very healthy, which is good. And went back out, and one more thing I had to wait for now was what was it? The last one was a doctor, aka psychiatrist. He basically just asked me a lot of questions, and this was the man that would be responsible for your discharge. Right, the discharge is when you come out of hospital, right? Because you already know what they were trying to do, right? It's obvious, bro. Okay. So asked me and the guy was African as well. So he was asking me several questions, answered it, and he came to conclusions. I stepped out, the officers were there, and the officers didn't look too happy as well. They looked pissed off. He said, I'm coming to the conclusion, you're fine, I'll give you the discharge. Then when that happened, um, had to wait an extra probably 4 or 5 hours because now they're saying there wasn't a sheet printed out with that particular doctor of the discharge, so now I had to wait longer. So I was there to about 2 o'clock in the morning, brothers. 2 o'clock in the morning for listen, left from 1 o'clock from when I was teaching to 3 o'clock in the morning, had me looking at a plain wall. They wanted me to react. That was what they wanted me to react and start shouting and stuff. And while that was happening, guess what you had going on? These fucking idiots walking up and down, doing their voodoo hoodoo in a hospital, bro. You know the same stuff they do when I'm teaching, right? You've seen it. They were doing the same thing. You had people coming in, coming out. This is why I don't trust no one except from Yahweh Shai and the Father. This is why I keep telling you, yeah, even your medical field are involved in gaslighting and all that shit. Fuck you talking about? Hmm? So now we're going to go to Proverbs 16 and 29. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into a way that is not good. So what they're trying to do is get you to react, right? Because they know you're peaceful. They know you're a loving and caring and empathetic. So they try to play upon that. They try to play upon them things, right? And leadeth him into a way that is not good. So they're evil. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. So a lot of these people as well, you see them walking about, shutting their eyes and mumbling something under their breath. Evil. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. So they're trying to basically, I don't know, curse or put some type of spell on brothers. But guess what? It didn't work, right? Even when I'm doing this lesson right now, I can hear a nasty bitch in the background saying, move on, move on. Man, shut your stupid ass up, man, and get a job. A lot of these people don't even work, man. They're not even working. This is why, yeah, we got to speak the truth. This is taxpayers' money's going on this type of behavior. And the ones that speak out against it, they're the ones that get in trouble. Right? They're the ones that get in trouble. So now, it's all a part of the truth. These things happen. This is why it says in Matthew's 10, and we're going to further talk about it as well, because that's not the end of the testimony. Let's go to Matthew's 10 and 16. Behold, I send you forth for sheep in the midst of wolves. Well, sheep are, yeah, they're vulnerable to a certain extent, but they're not stupid. Sheep are very smart, right? Very smart. A little bit docile, but smart. In the midst of wolves. So the script, Yahweh is saying, I'm sending you out into the world. So every day when you're out and about, don't be telling people everything you're doing. Don't be doing that. Because we're in the midst of wolves. Wolves are predatory animals and they hunt in packs. Narcissists are predatory people. And they get together in groups and do evil in groups. Be therefore wise as serpents, as a snake, and harmless as doves. You hear that? So you got to be wise and harmless out here. Don't be out here provoking anyone, starting fights, acting erratic. You do things with class. You got to be classy. Got to be wise, because they're looking. Remember, the people got spirits upon them. All type of demonics looking for a reason to have you hedged up, to have you hemmed up. They're looking for a reason. That's why they watch you day and night. They follow you day and night, because they're looking for something. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils. There you go. And they will scourge you in their synagogues. And you shall be brought before governors, politicians, and kings for my name's sake. And governors are also mayors. And for a testimony against them and the Gentiles, because it's going to turn as a testimony. This right now is a testimony how the Lord basically delivered me. And we're going to further speak on it. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how what you shall speak, for what shall be given you in that same way what you shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. These are not our words, it's the words of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. And I wasn't really panicking. I was just tired because they were trying to stress me out. That was planned. It was planned, right? I believe the police probably been watching me for years now. They know what everybody's doing on their walkie-talkies, right? They know what everybody's doing. They know what your local drug dealers are doing. They know what your local prostitutes are doing. They know what your drug dealers are doing. Your traffickers are doing. Okay. So back to part two. Basically now, it's the next day, 3 a.m. I got into the station 3 a.m. They let me know who they are. They say everything when you're in this particular cell, everything's going to be recorded. You're on audio and you're videoed as well. So everything was being watched. And they looked angry. They looked very angry, but they had a fake smile on their face. Obviously, not all of them, just some of them. The woman that I was speaking to. So you know that they were up to something. They wanted me to react. So they said, do you want any food? We got food. We look after you and so forth. Which that's just small talk. They changed my top, took off my top, had to wear some plimsolls, grey top, gave me some food. The food was quite nice actually for prison food. It was sweet and sour chicken, and it tasted nice. And yeah, they actually did ask, "Do you want a Bible?" I said, "Yeah." They gave me a Bible, so I was able to read the Bible within my cell as well. So I was in the cell until basically they looked into until I got my interview, right? So basically, slept 3 a.m., woke up about 8, 9. Then there was a knock on the door, another police officer, and they said, "We got some news, we got some news." We basically got a news from the hospital saying that you need to come back in because within the scan, there was something found. So they say, right? And what was found, I forgot the name of it. I got the sheets, I got the papers with me. There was something found, and basically, I know the name of it. It was within the brain. And basically, this was just a bit of nerve damage, which now that's going to be used as evidence for me. So it has been found on my body, nerve damage on my head, just a little bit. So, you know, when I tell you about the energy weapons and certain things people be doing, whether it's some community-based agents or vigilante groups or contractors, I got the paperwork. I forgot the name of it. It's hold on just a minute. See if I can find it. I've got all the paperwork now. All of it. You know what I'm going to have to do? See. Okay. I'll quickly get it. The paperwork. It says basically, this was when I came out of custody. They said it's a general weakness. And check this out, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. It says there was bilateral parietal paraventricular hyperdensities, more pronounced on the left, as well as minor focal subcortical white matter hyperdensities, predominantly in the bilateral frontal lobes. And guess what your frontal lobes? Guess what that deals with? That deals with your motor, your sensory. Your frontal lobes deals with your thought. So you know when I talk about these people, right? Whether it's your neighbors or a gang stalker or a narcissist or a contractor, right? That they aim energy weapons at you while you're sleeping at your head, right? Well, you do know your lobal that deals with your thinking, right? Well, there you go, bro. So this could be used as evidence against these individuals. So this is good. I got this paperwork. And it says these findings are non-specific, so they're not true, they're not too sure. And most likely represent a white matter process such as demyelination or inflammation. Chronic microangiopathic change is considered less likely. So I have been booked in for what you call an MRI scan, right? So I'm just waiting for the paperwork so I could find out what it is. And it says he has been discharged back into police custody. So I need to go back that further morning because they said they found something, which is hard to believe anything they say, to be honest with you. and they were asking me basically when I went back in there. So discharge, waited longer again for most of that day. And they were basically asking, "Have you? Is there anything? Have you banged your head?" No, I haven't banged my head at all. So you can't really trust them because all it takes is someone to give them a bit of money, and do certain things. So that was good. I got this paperwork anyway. So within that day, I was waiting again till about 10 o'clock. I got out of there 10 o'clock. So what you got to understand, the process, brothers, is when you're in custody, when they bring you back into hospital, that means it starts another 24 hours within custody. It renews, so they can keep you longer. The more they put you in hospital, they can keep you longer in custody. So what they were trying to do is test my patience and get me to snap or break, which the elect won't break. So basically, I was there till 10 p.m. at night time, at night about 9 p.m. to basically with the officers. And what they were saying is there's something there, so we're gonna do the MRI scan. But what I was saying, they said they didn't want to let me leave just in case something happened. So I was saying, would you send me, or you got my address, send me the information of the scan and everything else and the date for the MRI, and that's it. But they were like, no, 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 we want you to stay here. So I just said, no, just send me the details, because that's what they were looking to do, have me up in there for long. So by the grace of Yahweh, by Sham Yahweh Shai, guess what he done? Delivered me. But the last thing now was the interview. So discharge once again, now interview, and had a good solicitor, which I didn't really need this solicitor because again my auntie's barrister solicitor, same thing. This solicitor was bang on. He basically said, listen, what did they say? I told him about the allegations, and he said, you know what, you're fine. Was you outside that particular place? He said, nope, you wasn't outside it, so that's rubbish. He basically, when they write down, you basically tell the solicitor, oh, what's happened. They write it down. I was not here. This was a false allegation there and there. I was saying this and that. Said, you're fine. They ain't got nothing. He just said, no comment. When they ask you anything, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. And that was it. And good. From then, they've gave me a paper saying I need to come back in a few months and so forth, and back into custody. And there's nothing really. There's nothing there. Why? Because all the evidence is on the phone. And I'm not stupid enough to do a video on the phone, publish it to thousands of people, and incriminate myself in any way. So it makes no sense. So really, if I wanted to, I could get that woman sued that claimed that false allegation and other people for my time and from my health as well. Okay, but the Lord is great, and it shows you, it's another testimony, and it has boosted my faith because it shows you how He can deliver you when you're doing the right thing. So we're going to go to 1 Peter 3. And that's why you didn't see me for some time. This is 1 Peter 3 and 13. And who is he who will harm you if you become followers of what is good? But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you see, you don't need to worry about anyone harming you if you're doing what's right. Not to say you can't be harmed. You are blessed, and do not be afraid of their threats. You got people want to make stupid threats as well. Nor be troubled, but sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and always be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks for a reason for the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear, having a good conscience. See, my conscience ain't defiled. Having a good conscience. You know you're doing the right thing. You should know. But when they defame you, defamation, he's mad. He's crazy. But when you look at these people and their behaviors, listen, they be involved in witchcraft. Some of these people are involved in human trafficking, witchcraft, and all types of wicked works. All right? But if they defame you as evildoers, those who revile your good conduct in Mashiach may be ashamed. So If you keep on doing the right thing according to Yahweh Shai, they're going to be ashamed. For it is better, it is of the will of God to suffer for doing good than for doing evil. So if you are suffering, make sure you're suffering for doing the right thing. So we went into that. I think there's a few more scriptures then we shut off. All right. And read Acts as well. When Paul was delivered from the prison keeper, read Acts 16 and 26. Right? And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. Immediately all the doors were open and everyone's bands loosed. Read that as well. I'm not going to read it right now. And I just thank the Lord, Yahweh Shai, man. Because there is people out there, wicked individuals, that want to see you in a world of hurt. Because of jealousy. Because of jealousy. But the Lord knows how to deliver. He knows how to deliver. So let's go to Psalms 35. Right? We'll go to Psalms 34. The righteous cry, right? And the Lord Jehovah heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. This is a testimony of persecution, but yet deliverance. The Lord is great. Come on. And it has boosted my faith 100%. Because they had nothing. And they knew they had nothing. They were just trying to provoke me and get me to act a certain way. So, brothers, you have to be careful out there. Because there's always someone watching you. Especially with all the things that are going on in the news and all, a lot of things. Some of these people, they don't know any better. They just see you teaching with a garment on and they say, well, is he one of them radical Muslims? Some of these people just don't know. Right? And deliver them out of all their troubles. The Lord's always doing that. Tawadi Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai. It just adds to the testimony. So that's why you have not seen me. Right? I was in a cell for bloody 2 days, in and out. Okay? Because someone chose to get emotional and lie. Okay? Oh yeah, then they told me, oh, it was a hoax. It was a hoax. Get real. Let's go to Revelations 12. I don't trust no rogue dirty police. I don't trust no dirty police. I don't trust no corrupt ambulance services as well. Let's go to Revelations, Baba Kashan. 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser. Yeah, we have accusers of our brethren is cast down, which accuse them before our God day and night. This is happening daily and nightly, brothers. You have people that are just circle the block, right? Trying to summon up some demons and lies, right? Day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And they love not, word of their testimony. And they love not their lives unto death. There you go. So we overcame them by the blood of the Lamb. So just know this, you are being watched. The enemy is known as the accuser of our brethren. His whole job is to accuse you before the Father and basically explain to him why you're not worthy to receive any type of salvation. So he uses people to do that. Witches, warlocks, people that got spirits upon them. That's how he uses, right? And I want to throw this out there as well. Where I'm living right now, right, where I'm situated, they keep sending these witches my way, these warlocks and witches. Listen, man, come to me. If you got a problem with me, come to me personally, man. Stop sending these witches and warlocks, man. Because everything we do, it just gets returned back to sender. And Isaiah 54 and 16 and 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise up against thee, thou shalt condemn. Right? I'm going to have to shut off here because I'm getting a phone call from my mother. So on to the next time. Shalom.